Hello and welcome to Start Select on Friday the 10th of August. Here's the show in which we land the final knockout blow of video game news square to the jaw of this punch-drunk week.
And then while it's flat on the mat and the referee's not watching, we kick it in the ribs with a selection of your best comments. Because we're heroes.
Coming up today, there's news on Gears of War boss Rod Fergusson jumping ship to the studio making BioShock Infinite. Also news on Battlenet, which has been hacked. So time to change your passwords, everyone.
Then in my final Start Select feedback section, there are some of your thoughts on the next Xbox and the just announced Racer sequel Grid 2. And then, old friends, I'm afraid I'm leaving, like I said last week.
No, you're not.
Oh, Seb, are you still in denial about that? Seb, I'm leaving.
I can't hear you over the sound of me winning.
Seb, I'm leaving.
I can't hear you over the sound of the Eurozone financial crisis.
Seb, I'm leaving.
Alright, news the first. Rod Fergusson, the executive producer on the reasonably popular Gears of War series, has bailed on Epic Games, the studio behind Gears, to join Irrational, the studio behind BioShock Infinite.
Ferguson said, "Yes, it's true, I'm leaving my family at Epic to join my new family at Irrational in Boston starting tomorrow," via Twitter, on which he's known as @GearsViking, soon to become @BioShock Viking, possibly, maybe. Who can say?
It's the win! It's the win!
Epic PR chief Dana Cowley tweeted this photograph of Ferguson saying goodbye to everyone at the office. You can't see anyone's faces in it, but they're all really sad.
Ferguson, a well-known spokesman for Gears in his time at Epic, says he's played BioShock Infinite and it's amazing and he can't wait for us to play it.
Neither can we, Rod, but we'll have to since it was delayed into early next year. We're hopeful he can use his superhuman executive producing powers to keep Levine et al. On track.
Blizzard reports there's been unauthorized access to some information for accounts on its long-running player network, Battlenet.
The outfit behind Diablo 3, StarCraft 2 and World of Warcraft says everywhere but China was affected by the Battlenet intrusion. It's now investigating the breach.
The hackers made off with a list of email addresses linked to Battlenet accounts, plus some scrambled passwords from American servers and info on those mobile authenticators that were supposed to make your account more secure. Oops.
According to Blizz, the stolen information isn't enough to actually let hackers into your account, and they've no evidence that credit cards have been compromised. But they say you should play it safe and change your password all the same.
If you're on a US server, you don't have a choice. You'll be asked to change your password in the near future.
Here are some of my favourites that you can have for free. 12345, guest, password, Seb Ford, Sebword, Password, Open Sebony, and Seb Ford 2. You're welcome. Okay, feedback. Right, before we do this, let's just make one thing clear. There was a slightly larger than usual amount of feedback from last week's episode.
Yeah, it turns out you guys were really stoked for the Assassin's Creed Anvil Next trailer. Whoa, who'd have thought?
Also, it looks like a small handful of our viewers are going to miss Jane. Huh.
Oh, thanks you guys. I'll miss you too. But for now, we're looking to the news of Microsoft's brief mention of the next Xbox, plus your thoughts on the recently announced racy sequel Grid 2.
It's the first time we've heard Microsoft even acknowledge the existence of the Xbox successor, though since they've said they meant the autumn dashboard update, you guys. But it got some of you thinking about what you're hoping and expecting to see. GameSpot user The Seventh Sage 5 kicks us off. I just want two small features. 1. Backwards compatibility. And 2. I was one of the 3 people that bought a Zune HD, so can I see some console-side support? Playlists I can sync wirelessly, a party mode, and an EQ would make me a day 1 buyer. I actually heard one of the other 3 guys returned his Zune HD thinking it was an iPod, making you one of 2.
But chin up, I'm sure Microsoft are hard at work on that for you and that one other guy.
Who was a Microsoft employee.
Probably.
Next, GameSpotter Dark Lord is all 10 thumbs up for the new console, but 2 thumbs down for this current moniker the future console's adopted. It's nice to know a new Xbox is in the works, but I really hope they come up with a wittier name than Xbox 720. I mean, they have to have someone smart enough to come up with something that isn't just a doubling of a number on the old gen stuff, right? Well, let's hope so. I mean, doubling the number doesn't even make any sense. Obviously, what we're all expecting is the Xbox 361.
Nothing says future like a +1. But moving on, we reached Grid 2, the high-speed racy sequel from Codemasters, which received a debut trailer alongside its announcement late last week. User ACWH was among those punching the air in celebration, as a big fan of the original. Finally, Grid 2, a racing game I can't wait for. The first one was brilliant, and it's the only racing game I truly enjoy. Take that, every other racing game out there.
Especially you, F-Zero, you and your fancy 3D graphics. Plus, it looks like Andrew Whitmire agrees and is grateful for this release gap. I was thinking that it took too long for the second Grid game to be released. Then I realised that it's a nice change of pace to not have a yearly update of a game that doesn't necessarily need it. I, for one, am looking forward to Grid 2 in a huge way, and I hope it's just as good as the first game. It's always nice to have an alternative to Forza and Gran Turismo. See that? Grid +1 equals Grid 2. I told you that's how it's done.
It's also double, and Seb, I'm leaving.
What's that? I can't hear you over all the algebra.
And finally, in my last piece of Start Select feedback ever, there's something on Mark's Start Select show yesterday in which we got a brief glimpse at his filthy inner psyche, specifically what he wants from a Scribblenauts Pirates of the Caribbean crossover.
Oh well, let's screw.
Yeah, I thought I'd already packed Sackboy and Jack.
Oh, you had? Mark took everything back out and made them all a hump.
Oh no, not Claptrap.
Claptrap watched.
Well, then never has user Lord Rourke's comment been so apt, expressing what we are undoubtedly all thinking. Whatever they're paying Mark's therapist, it's not enough.
No amount of money can buy mind soap to wash away the things we've seen.
And that's it. That's Start Select done for another week, and I'm off for reals this time. But thanks again so much for watching.
Next week is Gamescom week, so Team GameSpot minus Traitor Jane will be in Cologne. You can catch Start Select and not Jane from the show floor, where we'll have the biggest news from the world's biggest game show.
Bye-bye. There's something on Mark's Start Select show yesterday in which we got a grief blimps.
A grief blimp.
A grief blimp. I thought I'd... Oh.
Sorry.
No, do you want to do this more?
Yeah.
Okay. What's it with you and filthy mimes lately?
No amount of money can buy mind soap to wash away the things we've seen.
It says mind soup.
It does say mind soup.
But well done. Mind soup. Delicious mind soup. Zesty. You can be like a panto horse. You can be the rear side of the sheep. Oh, hey, Maxwell.
Oh,
from
hey.
Scribblenauts. How have you been?
Hey,
How good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Why did you never call?
I was at sea on a pirate ship, and then I was eaten by a kraken.
Oh.
And there was no signal inside the kraken, so.
I'm pregnant.
That's not true.
Okay, that's not true. I made that up.
But also, I'm married to the sea.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you want to watch some more Start Select sometime.
Do.
Where could you do that?
You could click up here.
Over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what if I wanted to watch more YouTube videos from GameSpot, that delightful games website?
You could probably click it somewhere over this direction where I'm pointing with my rooster hat.
All right. And what do you want to do now, Maxwell?
You want to make out some more?
Yeah.
Okay.